Your creativity deserves to shine, and photography is one of the best ways to capture it. Hi, I'm Katrina, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you a step-by-step approach to jewelry photography. Whether you are brand new to photography or just looking to sharpen your skills with your camera, this is a great place to start. So grab your camera, grab some jewelry, and let's get started. We're going to cover 3 different things that are important for taking good jewelry or product pictures. We have lighting, staging, and composition. We're going to cover both indoor and outdoor photography in each of these areas. A lot of jewelry photography uses a light box to take pictures in a controlled environment. However, I'm going to be showing you how to take amazing jewelry or product pictures in your own home or outdoors. First off, we have lighting. Lighting is a huge and key part of photography in general, and it's especially important for taking pictures of small items like jewelry. Using a flash or having bright, direct, harsh light is going to wash out your pictures and not show all the details of your product. On the flip side, not having enough light means your pictures are probably going to turn out grainy or blurry, and again, you're not going to be able to see the detail and the beauty of the product you are taking a picture of. For indoor photography, setting up near a window with bright indirect sunlight is one of your best options. Reflectors, foam boards, or even just some white cardstock paper are ways that we can bounce light to brighten up our subject. Take test pictures with your camera to find the best lighting for the subject, the best angles, and adjust the settings on your camera. For outdoor photography, we have a couple of different options that we can work with to take our pictures. First of all, waiting for the time and the weather to be right. Overcast days are going to have the optimal lighting because all of the light has been diffused by the clouds. Another option for taking pictures outside is finding large patches of shade. You can either find this under trees or around the corner of a building. Taking pictures in the direct sunlight is also an option. It just takes a little bit more work to adjust our settings and to make sure that our photos are not washed out and we still have clear pictures that showcase our subject. The style and brand that I have now created with my pictures is very reliant on natural lighting. And while this adds to the challenge because I have to have good weather to have optimal lighting, it adds a raw and real aspect to my photos that I feel you can't necessarily get using a light box. Once you have found a place with optimal lighting, next we're going to look into staging our jewelry. This is how we set up our pictures and how we showcase each item that we are taking a picture of. Another important part of staging is making sure that your product or your subject doesn't get lost in the background. This is especially important when you're working with small items like jewelry. Keeping a simple and solid background for your small jewelry items is going to help your subject to pop and really show up in your picture. One of my favorite ways to take pictures of jewelry is to place the jewelry onto a leaf. I want to choose a leaf that is big enough to hold the jewelry without being too distracting. Most jewelry designs are going to look great by placing them onto a leaf. For different options like earrings, we can hang them up in a tree or off of a leaf so that we can have a little bit of a different effect. In this example, we are hanging the earrings. With my f-stop being at a low number, it blurs the background so that I don't have to worry about it being too busy and detracting and distracting from the subject. Overall, when taking pictures, especially in an outdoor setting, you want to make sure that your staging and your background are not going to overwhelm your subject and your jewelry isn't going to get lost in the photo. With indoor photography, you're basically setting up your own light box or setting up the stage to place your jewelry on. And still, the same with outdoor photography, you don't want your staging to outshine or overwhelm your subject. Now let's add in composition. After we have found the proper lighting, we've staged our items, now we're getting into actually taking the picture. Composition is another huge part of taking product pictures. This is where we place the subject in the frame of the camera. Odd numbers and especially thirds are very pleasing to the eye. Using the rule of thirds can help us to compose and frame our subject in the picture to make it more attractive and pleasing to the eye. On both your DSLR camera and your iPhone or smartphone, there's options in your settings to turn on a grid that will show up on your screen. For the settings on my camera, I usually use a shutter speed of about 60. F-stop is set from 4 to 5.6, and my ISO I keep as low as possible. ISO is essentially fake light. So the lower we keep our ISO, the more clear our pictures are going to be, which is key for jewelry and product photography, especially when the items are small. Shutter speed is exactly what that is. It's how fast the camera closes the shutter. Having a lower shutter speed means the lens is going to be open for longer, allowing more light and exposure to happen in the camera. I would say using a shutter speed from 60 to 125 would probably be a good range for taking product pictures. Adding depth into a picture draws your eye and focus into the picture and onto your subject. Having a blurry background and a blurry foreground is really going to help draw in your attention to focus on the subject of your picture. We can then use that grid to help us align and frame our shot so that we have the rest of the picture also matching and meeting that rule of thirds. A great way to practice your photography is finding those pictures that attract you, that inspire you, and that look like the theme and the style of photo that you are going for. Take those pictures and use them as your shot list. Try recreating some of those images in your own style and with your own product. We're going to wind up this video talking about your style and the style that you want your pictures to end up in. Having a theme across your pictures is a great way to tie in everything together for when people see your pictures, they know that that jewelry is by this person or this jewelry is from that brand. As you can see on my page, most of my pictures have a bluish green or a green theme to them. Because when I go outside, the plants and the leaves and the things that I use to take my pictures on have that color. And then when I set up inside to do my photography, I also try to carry that theme over and have that similar style inside with the natural elements as well as the color scheme. This creates a continuity across the entire page as you're scrolling down it. If you're just getting started, don't worry about having a specific style for your brand that you might not even have yet. Just focus on taking pictures that you enjoy taking and that you find attractive. As you continue taking pictures, your style and your brand will develop itself as long as you are consistent with what you're doing. Depending on your style is the type of props that you will use for when you are staging. With my style and my theme, I usually have some sort of a natural element of a flower or a leaf or something like that, even when I'm shooting indoors. Now, depending on your style, you might want to use a light box so that your pictures are consistent all across the board. And your style might be a little more like mine, where I rely on the natural light of the sun to take my pictures. It all depends on the type of picture you want, the style that you want your pictures to be in, and the brand that you want to create. Now that's all we have for this video. I hope you found something useful for getting started or improving your jewelry photography. I'd appreciate it if you give this video a like and be sure to subscribe so that you can see when new videos come out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.